guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Home Fire, and this is by Kamila Shamsie. This is the third book that I read for the Women's Prize Shortlist for 2018, and this was a classic example of me picking up a book thinking that I knew it was about one thing and then it being about something slightly different from that. I don't know if I'm quite making sense there, but sometimes I feel like I have these impressions of books before I pick them up, either from sort of perusing the cover or sort of picking up snippets of what other people have said about them. And then I read the book and then I'm like, oh, okay, so that's about something that's slightly different from that. So this is described as a retelling of the Greek myth Antigone. And that really didn't give me any vibes whatsoever because I don't really know much about Greek myths, and yeah, don't know anything about the story of Antigone, but I did know it was about some siblings and about one sibling being in America and then something happens and she can't get home to him, and that was my kind of impression of what this book was about. But I was kind of misled by that, I think. It is a retelling of Antigone, although again I still don't know anything about that particular myth, so I don't know kind of how the story works from that sort of perspective. But this basically tells the story of three siblings. You've got an older sister and two sets of twins, and the older sister, whose name is Isma, she has recently gone to America to go to university, I think to do her master's degree, and so she's left the two twins behind. I think the twins are slightly younger than she is, I think by about 5 or 6 years, something like that, so I think she's sort of like middle 20s, and she spent the last few years of her life looking after these twins when her mother died. There was nobody else to look after them, and so she's been taking care of them. She's been sort of putting her life on hold, and then obviously when they're a little bit older she decides, right, I'm going to go and do my master's degree. So she goes over to America, and while she's over there, her brother, so one of the twins, makes this decision, and yeah, things sort of go from there. So let me just read the back. Yeah, so you kind of get an impression on the back of as to what this brother might have done, and it mentions the fact that their father left them when they were quite small, and then, well, not small really, he left them when they were kids, and then their mother died shortly afterwards, and that's why Isma had to kind of bring them up. But it mentions on the back that their father was a jihadi, so he was part of a terrorist group over in Pakistan, I think. And then Parvez, who is the brother, he is drawn into that particular world and he goes over there, and that's the kind of event that happens while she's at university. So I've kind of stopped there plot wise. This is told from a few different perspectives. So you get Isma, you get Parvez's perspective, you also get, and again I can't, is it Anika? Yeah, you get Anika's perspective, she's Parvez's twin sister, and then you also get a couple of other perspectives of characters who are close to the family in some sort of way. So you get kind of like a section from each of the characters, and I think there are 5 sections in total. And it's jumps back and forth in time a little bit, but not really too much. It's more sort of about recent history than it is about anything else. I was blown away by this book. I think mainly because it deals with this topic of terrorism and the way that people who are brought up in Britain but whose recent sort of generations of family have not been born in Britain, so they're maybe like 2nd or 3rd generation British or something like that, and how they're dealing with the different ways that people view them in society. And of course then you've got this massive topic of terrorism and how people can be drawn into these worlds, and I I missed out on asking Kamila Shamsie a question on Twitter the other day about where she got her inspiration from to write from Parvey's point of view and to kind of weave that part of the story together. I found it really compelling. I found it quite terrifying as well, but it was just so interesting reading from that sort of perspective and from the perspective of people around him, and the complications when it comes to politics and foreign policy and, you know, how we view immigrants and that sort of thing. It was complex, really well written, about a subject matter that's so relevant and so interesting, and I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. Really, really loved it. So I gave this one 4.5 stars. Off the top of my head at the moment, I can't really say why I didn't give it 5. I suppose because it didn't like really blow me away. Although I have said it blew me away earlier in the video, so maybe I should retract that comment. But I did really, really enjoy it. I thought it was great. A definite another favourite on the shortlist. I've done well with the shortlist so far. I really have enjoyed. I've joined a couple of things that I've read so far, and this is only the 3rd one. So yeah, really would recommend picking this up. It's quite short. It only took me 2 or 3 days to read. And yeah, completely readable and very, very compelling. So there you go guys, that was my review of Home Fire by Kamila Shamsie. I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments below. Have you read this and what did you think of it? Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.